Hey Tim, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I could use an extra day of weekend. I don't know how to explain it, but like I need another day.
Well, that's
Saturday
always
is
the
not enough.
case.
Yeah,
That's always the case. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's get right to it.
yeah. Let's
We've
talk
got a
some
couple things
news.
to we've got a couple things to discuss. The first one is a little bit of drama going on between Sony and Microsoft.
A little bit, yeah. I think they've always had
Yeah.
drama, but like it's the first time we hear about it openly. I think properly.
Well, yeah, no, but this is different. Microsoft announced on their blog just a couple days ago, on the 19th, that Death Stranding, the PlayStation exclusive, right, is going to be making it to is going to be making its way to Game Pass.
Now it
And
was a
everybody was like,
PlayStation exclusive, but it did come on PC to
it
confirm.
came on. Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but like the PC is not a console, right? I
Right.
mean, it is a console, but it's not owned by a console or whatever, or a console manufacturer other than Sony or anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just weird seeing Death Stranding with an Xbox sort of like logo next to it or something. And it was announced, like I said, on the 19th. And an even other surprising announcement is that it's going to be available on the 23rd.
Very soon.
So
Yeah.
they didn't give people enough time to kind of like wrap their heads around what's happening. We're recording this right now on the 21st. So in a couple of days, people will start playing Death Stranding on Game Pass. If you're already subscribed to Game Pass, you should be able to download it and play. Oh, this is PC Game Pass. Just to confirm, it's
Exactly.
PC Game Pass,
Yeah.
not console Game Pass. So it's specifically on PC. It was on PC before, like you said. It was released in 2019, November 2019. The director's cut was then also released on PC on March 30th in 2022. So they're both available on Epic and Steam, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe also through the Microsoft Store. But
I'm
now,
not
for the
sure about
first
that.
time,
Yeah.
I'm not sure either. But like Epic and Steam, I believe is where they were available on. But now, for the first time, Death Stranding will be available on Game Pass as part of as part of a subscription service from Microsoft that we all know and love. So, how did this happen,
I don't
and
know
why did this happen?
how. I
Well, we know
don't like.
why, but yeah.
I mean, it's not a big deal because it's a game going to Game Pass. The big deal is that it was a Sony exclusive,
Well, yeah,
and
that's the big deal. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but because I think Kojima is a third-party studio, or it's an independent studio, I should say. That's why it was able to happen. I think more so
Well,
than anything else.
you're halfway there. It's actually because of the publishers, 505 Games, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they're called,
Hmm.
because they're the publishers of Death Stranding on PC, them and Kojima Productions. So the both of them, they're the ones that manage this whole thing, and since I'm assuming there is nothing in the contract between Sony and 505 and Kojima Productions about where this game will end up in the future on on PC. Like if they didn't specifically say don't put this on Game Pass or don't put this on any other service of that sort, then there's no stopping them from doing it. I don't know why it happened now. There might have been some contractual things or not, but that's it. Sony actually came out and said that we are not involved in this decision at all because they don't have to be. Everything is managed and handled by 505 Games
Right.
and by Kojima Productions. And as we all know, Hideo Kojima and Microsoft are working on something together. This could be
Yeah, like
kind of
a
like a
way in. They're like,
stepping.
oh, like we already know you're working with us. This like put your game here. Like this is a further acknowledgement that Kojima and Xbox are together or
Or
working
maybe it
together.
was part of the deal that they had. Like we really want you to like develop this game, this like crazy idea that you have of a game for us, but we also want something else from you, like Death Stranding. We want like some other Kojima
Like I for him,
production.
yeah, it's a win-win for him. Like there's
Oh yeah,
no
yeah.
issue for having it in more places, and now that it's part of Game Pass, more people, I guess, will play it if they haven't played it before. Like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
barrier to playing the game is way less now.
You know what? This would have been great if it happened like very shortly after it came out on PlayStation. I know it's a stupid thought, but just the reason why I'm saying would have been great is that, as I'm sure you remember, we have had this discussion. A lot of people had this discussion online that Death Stranding is just a walking simulator, right? Death Stranding was not that great of a game or whatever. Like a lot of people judged it before playing
Very
it.
superficially, yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. And a lot of people, just like with the view bombs, like a lot of people just, even if they did play it, just because the internet, made it seem like it's a thing, they just kind of like go with the flow, and they get influenced that way. A lot of people's opinions are influenced by what the majority say, even if they've experienced it themselves. It takes a lot of maturity to distance yourself from, the louder voices and have a thought of your own. But if this came out on Game Pass back then, where anybody could play it as long as they're paying that $15 or $10, no, the PC is $10 a month, the $10 a month subscription, they don't have to like buy a console and buy the game just to try it out for themselves. Because at the end of the day, it is a Kojima game, and you have to try it out for yourself. It's Kojima after all. But yeah, if this came out back then on Game Pass, if it was that accessible, I think people wouldn't have been so critical of it.
I think people will still be critical. It's just less
Not as
people.
critical as what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have been as critical of it as they were back then, because it was just, it was just the Sony Kojima fanboys that were like praising it, and then obviously publications and whatnot. But for the average person, the whoever's like already not so sure about this game, because let's face it, the teasers and the trailers just did not help at all. If
No,
you're an outsider and you're not really used to the Kojima sort of like storytelling way of like creating games and whatnot, you look at this as like, I don't even know what this game is.
yeah, and I
Right.
think, but in a sense, it's better not to know about this game going in, because I personally played it, but I played it way later. I think a year after it came on PlayStation, and I played it on PC as well. Like that
Oh, yeah.
helped me play it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. In your case, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a lot
I
more
w-
accessible.
exactly. So it wasn't an issue for me where I played it, but like, I understand now why he did what he did after playing it. In terms of the marketing, the mystery, because the less you know going into the game, the more experience you get out of it. I don't know how better way to phrase it, but that's
No, I know what you mean, because like I don't know the game exactly, but I understand the idea that you're like sending across. The mystery kind of makes it necessary for the game to be promoted in such a way. You'd only get it if you played the game. But just to play devil's advocate, the way things are right now is that people rely on these like trailers and teasers and promotional stuff, whatnot, to make a decision. So it's understandable that based on what people saw, including myself, based on what I saw, I wasn't so sure of the game. Like,
that's fair. Yeah,
yeah,
it is
yeah,
fair.
yeah. I'm saying it's understandable. I'm not saying that that's a fact that this game is like bad or whatever, but just based on that first impression and based on like what was revealed to people, to the general public, again, I'm sure people who know Kojima's work probably were a lot less suspicious, or probably were a lot less or more lenient and more excited and more hyped for the game. But especially to those who never played Metal Gear Solid, those who never had like any sort of experiences with Kojima, seeing this might have been like weird. But then again, having it on Game Pass is way less of a barrier of entry
Exactly.
to either AAA title games by superstar game developers, or weird little indie games like that Fly game that we covered in was it called Fly on a
Day of the
Wall or
Devs.
something
Yeah,
like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like stuff like that on Game Pass. Yeah, sure, I'll check it out. It's free. Like it's part of the subscription. I'll check it
right.
out. It's what you do with Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. You already have access to all this content. One of these days you'll be like, you know what? Let me check this out and see what's it about. Sometimes it's a
And
win,
then you get
sometimes
hooked.
it's
Yeah,
not. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, so that's it. It's just weird, just seeing this game on Game Pass again, because it's like a coveted PlayStation title
I
by
mean, Yeah, I mean it's not as big. Like again, maybe I don't see the big dealness of it, other than it was a Sony exclusive. Now it's on Xbox, and like you're getting the achievements, you're
And,
getting
and,
like
and so soon, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's
I
it's
wouldn't
getting
say
the full treatment.
soon. It came out in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. It's like
Yeah,
three
4 years,
years,
and
three
it's
or four
well,
years.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, 3 years. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, to me, that feels like it's so soon for a PlayStation exclusive to make its way across the pond into the other camp.
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah,
seeing it
like
in that way, I guess so. But like
yeah.
sooner is better than later. Let's
Oh
put
yeah,
it
of
like
course.
that.
Yeah, of course. And on Game Pass, I mean, it was already on PC, so already like broke that barrier a little bit. But now on Game Pass, I have a feeling it's the numbers are going to be great. I wonder if they're going to release those numbers or not. I think Microsoft should release those numbers. Like number of players, number of downloads, all that sort of stuff, to kind of like solidify the Game Pass experience,
Yeah.
especially with the drama that's been going on between the two of them, right? I guess we can kind of get into this, but I just want to say really quick. You touched on this with Game Pass. You get achievements. There's ultra wide support, photo mode, high frame rate, and crossover content. You will also have the following unlockable items. Maybe you should take this because I don't know what these are, and I don't want to like mispronounce something.
What the unlockable items? The
Yeah,
Chiral Gold and the
yeah.
Omni Reflector, Luden's mask, sunglasses. So Luden's, I didn't see the item itself, but Luden's is a reference to Kojima himself in the game.
Okay.
And this is like I wouldn't say an Easter egg, but you figured it out quite early on. Gold, you get a gold and silver power skeleton, which I thought was already a thing on the PC, so maybe this is just like reaffirming that this is a thing now. Gold and silver all-terrain skeletons, which is like this exoskeleton that you put on your legs, and then you can like run faster or jump further. And gold and silver armor plates, which I never used. So I don't know if anyone's played and finished the game, but like I never used the armor plate. I found them a waste of like space, because like you have to replace a space of carrying with an armor plate.
Okay.
So this is just me, because like again, I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed my time with the game. Definitely highly
Yeah.
recommended, and now even more so. Yeah.
Hopefully, a lot of people will as well. Also, adding to the weirdness factors that the game was developed using Sony's first-party engine from Guerrilla Games Studio, and it's on Game Pass. It's again just like
It's
adding
cool.
that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're talking about the drama going on between the two. So I think earlier this month, what happened was that Sony was questioned by a Brazilian authority called, like the acronym is CADE, and they don't want the Microsoft and Activision Blizzard merger to happen, or the acquisition, sorry, to happen. So they were questioned by them, as they were in a lot of other countries. I don't know how this works out exactly, but the report that came out was from the Brazilian sort of like inquiry, and Sony basically said that they're worried that Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard means that they now will make Call of Duty an exclusive to just Xbox, and that Call of Duty is such a huge franchise, it will actually sway people's buying decision with consoles. So they're saying basically, if it becomes an Xbox exclusive, then that alone will make people stop buying it will make people stop buying PlayStation consoles and then just buy Microsoft like Xboxes.
I mean,
So
it's a
that's
bit
why they're.
more nuanced than that, but yeah, that's what they're saying. They're
I mean,
worried
that's what they're
about. Yeah.
claiming. They're saying I mean, like they even said that Call of Duty is a genre of its own. It's like that big. It's the only. I think they said it was the only entertainment franchise or IP that's consistently been in the top 10 sort of franchises for like years or something like that. They quoted just the amount of resources that it takes to develop these games. So they talked about just how huge Call of Duty is, and they were trying to make the point that by letting Microsoft acquire Activision Blizzard, you're putting this in their hands, and then you'll be crippling our business basically, because they'll eventually make it an exclusive just to Game Pass or just to Xbox. They even opposed the idea of having it available on Game Pass day one, right? So
Yeah.
like they're against all of these things that Microsoft may or may not do, and that's why this whole thing happened. And so yeah, that was that, and
Microsoft
Microsoft then.
called them out very much on that.
Yeah, Microsoft called them out. They're like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. They've stated before, like back in January, if I'm not mistaken, that they're going to honor all contracts. And Call of Duty at that time had like three, or like Activision, sorry, had like three Call of Duty games, like, as part of an agreement. So at least those games will not be exclusive, but there's no telling what the future will hold. Microsoft also said, and they stated in their 27-page response to Cade, that it's not in their financial interest to make this an exclusive game just to Microsoft or just to Xbox, especially a game this big, because whatever money that they can make from like all these sales and whatnot, they will lose out the money that they would have made from all the other players on all the other platforms.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, exactly. So then Microsoft also doubled down and accused Sony of paying developers to exclude their games from Game Pass.
This sounds like such a Sony thing that I believe it. Like, I know they love to gate people off,
Yeah,
so
that is true.
It is something that I can believe.
As far as I know, I don't think there is any like legitimate hard proof evidence of this happening. But like you said, it sounds like a Sony thing. What we actually know for a fact, because it came out in the Epic versus Apple trial a couple of years ago, is that like there were clauses in contracts that Sony had with developers or publishers saying that this game will not be the publisher should not have third parties or influence third parties to put the game on competitive subscription services such as Google Stadia, Xbox. Like they specifically said, Game Cloud, XCloud, Game Pass, Live Gold, whatever, and any other sort of subscription service. And then after 1 year, Sony will have the first, I forgot what it was called, but the first right to choose whether they can add it to their own service or not. So there was a lot of these conditions where they wanted to keep all the games to themselves and as much as possible keep it away from the competition. And now they're like accusing Sony, Microsoft of like trying to keep games for themselves. The only difference, I see it, is that the way Microsoft is doing it, if that is their intention, right? If they really are intending to make Call of Duty exclusive, they bought the company. Exactly. They didn't buy off developers and tell them like, don't put it there. If that's what, allegedly, if that's what happened, if that's what Sony did or not. We also know that Sony did not allow developers to have cross-play. If you remember that, a couple of years ago, like it came out.
It's not. It was a fact. Like they didn't want crossplay to keep everything on the Sony servers or something like that as well. That's another limiting thing.
It was a condition that they had on developers. If you enable crossplay, will take you out of the PlayStation Store.
Yeah. It's so
and
toxic.
I think Gearbox, what's his name? Randy Pitchford, I think also tweeted this out because a lot of people were asking him like Borderlands 3, why is there no crossplay or something like that? I don't remember if it was him or somebody else, and he's like, PlayStation made us do it. Or
I remember that.
PlayStation made Take-Two, the publishers, do it. And even though Randy Pitchford is the CEO of Gearbox, like he has no say in the matter because it's between Sony and Take-Two, I think it was Take-Two, the publishers. Yeah, exactly. So it feels like a Sony thing. And at this point, it's all allegations. But I'm willing to believe that this is true, that they're kind of doing things under the table, behind closed doors, because they don't have the capital to just buy these companies.
Yeah. Well, probably not. But like still, like Sony would benefit. Again, I don't know what goes on from Sony's side, but like I've been a long time
none of us do,
Sony fan or like supporter of their system and ecosystems, that even though if it was crossplay enabled or whatever, it's not going to make me as a player like, be like, since it's crossplay, I'm going to ditch Sony completely and go on PC or wherever, it's going to be like...
I don't remember what their reasoning was, both like publicly or what people were assuming the reason behind those were, but it's weird. Like, I don't know why it's in their interest to make sure that people on PlayStation are only playing with other people on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's such a limiting thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I understand wanting people as many people as possible to play on PlayStation because the licensing fees, and I'm assuming they also take cuts from like microtransactions or stuff like that. I get all of that, but if somebody else is already on Xbox and you on PlayStation want to play with that person, it's like Apple. It's like Apple not allowing any SMS messages coming through to iPhones because the other person doesn't have iMessage.
Wow, that
Like
could
that's
be
it, right?
a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because the most they're doing, the most Apple is doing is that the whole blue bubble, green bubble thing. I think if you're on iMessage, or anybody on iMessage that has an Apple device gets a blue bubble. Anybody else, gets a green bubble. Ew, green bubble. And also, Google has been trying for years to have Apple enable rich messages. Something I forgot what it was called. So it's
Okay.
a evolution of SMS where it allows for interactive content and media and all that sort of stuff, like rich media and previews and all that sort of stuff. And Apple doesn't want to, because by doing so, it makes the experience of Google and Apple users SMSing each other more cohesive. When it wants to make sure there's a separation right there so that the Apple people, have all the good stuff. You know that if you're in a group text or something, or somebody on an iPhone, if they react to your message, like how you do on WhatsApp, you could react with like a laugh or whatever. If the other person has an iPhone, he'll get that reaction. If the other person has an Android, they will get a message, like an SMS
Separate.
message
Yeah.
or something that says this person reacted to your message, or something weird like that. Now,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
there's been a lot of issues as well. People would kick out like non-iPhone users from their like group texts because of these inconveniences.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So again, like this kind of separation is not good for anybody, and the same thing could be applicable to gaming.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So crossplay all the way, and anyways, that's it. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Hopefully, like I want Apple to go. Apple. I want Microsoft to go through and acquire the acquisition. Acquire. I don't know. I can't say words today. And acquire
Just today.
Yeah, just today, but specifically more today than any other day. Activision Blizzard. Damn. But we'll take the next topic. I can't
Well,
talk.
the next topic is kind of like leading into what Sony wants to do in the future. And it all started with Marvel Spider-Man Remastered that was recently launched on PC or on Steam and Epic Game Store. So ever since that game launched, not only did we get like a super sweet mod, if you haven't seen it yet on Twitter, like it took over Twitter, where they replaced Spider-Man's model with the Kingpin. So he's like this permanent, like he looks like Kingpin, and he has like this weird smile and everything on him. And like then at one point like he's flying through, and then they end up fighting each other, and like it's just funny to see Kingpin versus Kingpin. So it was like a funny scene.
Yeah.
And then
I
again,
mean, modding has always been fun.
Yeah.
Things people can do with mods.
yeah. So not only did we get that, which was fun. So the modding community, or I guess people who dug into the files further, found that there was something interesting when they dug deep. That in the files they referenced something called PSN account linked, meaning at some point or another, Insomniac and PlayStation and Sony were testing or gonna enable a PSN account linking feature on PC, which again we're speculating, but everyone's thinking that Sony might end up having their own launcher of some kind to link all these Sony games coming out at some point, which would make sense in their for their ecosystem or for their benefit as well.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. If you want to keep everybody in the ecosystem, then
Because right now it's on Steam and Epic, which is already like its own thing. So you don't
Yeah.
get like you don't get your friends list from PlayStation. You don't get trophy support. You don't get any of these things if you're outside of the PlayStation ecosystem. So this is one way of them tying it together. And like I want to know what you think about this as well.
I just have a question. So regarding trophies and achievements and all that sort of stuff, you do get them, but just like as part of the Steam achievements, right? But they're not
Yeah.
like part of the place. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
So if
completely
you're trying to
separate.
like platinum and you want to have it on your record, or that's something that's something important. Exactly. Well, obviously, no, I think it's a good move. We've seen now for a couple of years Sony being a lot more serious about the PC gaming market, and we've seen it across several different like things. So we have a few games already that are out on PC. Death
Yeah.
Stranding is one of them. Spider-Man Remastered came out a couple of days ago, like you said. I've already seen people streaming it, and it looks great. God of War is going to come out. Uncharted is coming
Uncharted.
out this
Yeah.
year. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So that's one thing that they've done. Now we also have gaming peripherals for PC gamers, the headphones and the monitors, and I'm sure they're going to like expand that even further.
They're tying it
They
together. Yeah.
they're tying everything together, and now they need to. And we also have the PlayStation Plus, the like subscriptions,
Subscription. That's right.
which I'm sure down the road is going to make its way to PC as well. Because right now it's just on PlayStations. But
That's
I'm
right.
positive once they start building like their PC library, it's going to make its way there. They bought Nixies to handle all the porting of games to PC. So yeah, they need to kind of like tie everything together into an ecosystem.
And it makes
Or
sense to have a launcher to do that, or of some kind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, some people might think that, oh, like what's this launcher is going to have a few games. Yeah, but Battle.net, how many games does that have?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not about because people might be comparing it to Steam or Epic, but it's not about the number of games because this is a launcher just for Sony and just for their PC games. I think it's great as long as it's not a tool that can be used to limit anything. I don't know how. I can't really think of anything now, but as long as it's not used in that way, where it limits access to people or limits certain functionality or features or anything of that sort, where, for example, let's say that you can only play with other people on this launcher. You can't play with people on Steam or whatever. Then I'm against it.
It's. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but like,
Well, yeah, I'm saying if
yeah,
that's the case, then yeah, then I mean, I might like everything else about it, but I would be against this particular thing. If they're still limiting crossplay on PC, it's just weird having this issue on PC, anyways. Where
yeah,
if you have a game on Epic, you can't play with somebody else on Steam. The PCs were always the device they used to play with anybody else, right? Like, you've got a
right.
PC, we'll play, and that's it. It was just a matter of like I think even if you had a Mac, that might have been fine. Or no, I don't think
I'm
so.
not sure. I can't.
Like
I can't say.
yeah, like it's Mac PC gaming. Who cares? But yeah. But otherwise, I think this is a good move, and like this is an evolution of Sony as well. Oh, and let's not forget VR. Like
Okay, I
VR
didn't even
games
think
on
of that.
PC.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know if that's something that could be unlocked in the future or whatever, but if you can use a VR headset on your PC,
with the
because you can't
PSVR
do that right
two.
now. It's
Yeah,
just a PlayStation peripheral, right?
yeah. For now, it's locked to PlayStation. Oh, the first one, anyway. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, exactly. So they haven't mentioned anything about PSVR 2 being on PC. But imagine this, where they announced that it's available on PC and you've got like all these VR games through the launcher or whatever. PSVR 2 becomes a lot more of a viable option.
It's more
Because,
accessible. Yeah.
yes, well, it's exactly for the price. I mean, the Quest 2 is always going to be cheaper. But now, if you have a PSVR 2, you have a headset that you can use on your PlayStation and on your PC. And from what we've seen, the specs of the PSVR 2, it's supposed to make it great. The quality of life features are up there with what you would expect. Oops, sorry, with what you would expect from other manufacturers. That would be a cool thing. Like I don't know if it's possible, but that would be great if you can.
Sure, it's possible. It's just like if they're willing to open it up that way. Yeah. Like,
Well, I mean, I would understand. I would understand if it's like a Sony or a PlayStation device that you want to lock down within the launcher, right? So you could only play these the VR games through the launcher. That would make sense because they're using a device that's just like it's intended for PlayStation. And
yeah, which is
yeah.
fine. It's like using the DualSense. Like you could still use the DualSense on other games, but
Oh yeah,
like
that's true. Actually,
if
yeah,
you use the
can use
DualSense
yeah.
with what do you call it, Spider-Man, it will show the buttons. You'll get the DualSense
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
rumble or the haptic feedback functions. They already said that. Like if you're playing a Sony game and you have the DualSense on PC, you get those features on like unlocked already. So
Yeah.
I can't see, or like I can see that if they have PSVR 2 on PC, it can like be used in that sense, or like just for a Sony
Yeah, but do you
VR
think
game.
they would lock it down to just the launcher, or like you can use it as a regular VR headset on Steam, for
Exactly.
example?
I think like even if they did lock it and there's a way to connect it to the PC, someone will unlock it. As simple as
Yeah.
that. That's all I gotta say. But
I
like
mean, even what I'm saying is that even if there's no way to unlock it, I'm kind of okay with that.
at
Because
least
I
it
mean, they
opens it
just
up still.
added,
Yeah.
yeah, because like they added just more value to this thing that's initially intended for the PS5. They gave it like that extra sort of value where okay, you can now use it on your PC, but you have to use it on like specific whatever.
Launcher,
It's
yeah.
not ideal, but I'd be okay with it. Like I don't see it as a dick move or whatever. Like yeah, okay, it's their device. It's made for their games, and now they want to just extend it to their other games on PC. That would be great, actually. I would
I
love to
hope
like
that's the
one
case.
day report on that. Like, oh, by the way, the PSVR 2, which is rumored to be, I think, around $350 or something like that, is no longer locked down just through PS5. You could just use it on your PC now
Yeah.
with with the launcher, or if that actually comes out.
I
So
want
yeah,
them to do it. Like even though people are like, oh, not another launcher. Like Rockstar has one, everyone has one. Like
why do people hate launchers? I don't get it.
because it's just another software to have like running on the bottom right of your PC. Like it's just more software. You don't need it.
Yeah, but you could just shut it. Like just like
Yeah,
unless there's like concern over like, privacy and stuff like that, I would understand that. But I don't have Steam running at all times. Why would I need Steam to run at all times? If I launch a game, I launch the game and that's it. Once I'm done, I just shut down everything and that's it. It's not like I understand there are some people that have like a lot of friends on Steam and they like that's where the communication is. Like for a while Steam was kind of like Discord.
It
Like
was.
that social aspect of it. Yeah, exactly. Now everybody's on Discord. I don't know if people are still socially active, like just to be social, if they still do it on Steam or not. I had a couple of friends that were like that, but other than that, like if they don't want that many launchers because they don't want that many programs running at the same time or whatever, just shut them.
Yeah,
And
yeah, makes
yeah,
sense. But like we're both okay with another launcher. But like
I'm
that's the
sure a lot of people are
general
not. Yeah,
complaint.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To me, that's like a very like trivial thing. So if Sony wants to have their own launcher, let them have their own launcher. If it means that people will have access to Sony games and like connect their accounts and maybe do cross saves or crossplay between PC and PS5.
That's the dream. If that ever happens, that's
Yeah,
like Sony being not Sony ever.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like making it like more open, at least between. But wait, of all the games, there isn't any multiplayer game that's making its way to PC, right?
Right now, I
Like
can't say for
Uncharted,
sure.
there's no multiplayer God War, no multiplayer Spider-Man,
No,
no
I don't know about
multiplayer.
Spider-Man. Yeah, most of them have been single player. I don't know about Days Gone if
Yeah,
there is a multiplayer or not as well. That's on
yeah.
Horizon. I know there's no multiplayer. Uh, so yeah, I think they've been
Remind me,
single player.
Is Last of Us making its way to PC?
I'm not sure. Actually, no, they haven't announced it. They
No,
announced
they haven't,
Last of
right?
Us
Yeah,
Part
it's just
One.
the remake of the remake
Yeah, that's it.
and a TV show. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah,
So no
so
PC.
nothing PC yet.
Yeah, nothing yet. Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool on PC as well.
I
Yeah.
do like. I want them
So
to do a
yeah.
launcher like because I feel like right now they're not day and day releases. So like if you get it on PlayStation, you get it on PlayStation first, and then eventually on PC. You get it, like could be a year, could be whatever, 2 years. We don't know. But if Sony has its own launcher, I would like to think they'll be more inclined to like launch it day one on PC, so for people to buy it through the launcher, and not only that, like you're forgetting something that all these launchers like Steam and Epic, they have a cut. Like I know Steam more than Epic, I can't remember how much, but like Steam takes like a percentage, I think 30% from every sale.
30 Epic takes 18 or 12.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
Epic's whole thing. They're like
Yeah,
30% is
less
way too. Yeah, and they put they put their what's the expression? They put their foot where the money
money,
is, or their hand.
their money where
Yeah,
their mouth is.
yeah, that. Oh no, foot and mouth is something else. Yeah, so they put their money
Money
where their
where
mouth is. damn, I need to sleep. Because they accuse all these other companies like Apple of taking way too big of a cut.
Right.
And they themselves, take a lesser cut than the other companies do. So yeah, I think it's 12 or 18, and Steam takes 30.
Yeah, so Sony, it's also in their interest to have a launcher, because then they can get 100% for them, instead of like that 30% going to Steam or even Epic, whatever the percentage is.
Yeah.
That's another incentive. So monetary,
that touches
it makes
back.
sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, because I was gonna like connect this to the whole. It doesn't make financial sense for Microsoft to make Call of Duty an exclusive title, because even though they'll make money from the Xbox people, they'll lose money from the PlayStation people. But then I realized that doesn't make sense, or there's no connection there with what you're saying, because all it takes for somebody to not play the game on Steam is just to install the PlayStation 5 launcher and just play it there.
Yeah,
so they could definitely convert a lot more people from Steam into
Exactly.
their own launcher. Yeah.
And then if you still want to play it on Steam, like you for Borderlands, you just wait until the Steam version comes out, and that's it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll. No, because Blizzard, I think it was Blizzard, some developer that had their own launcher did a thing where you can still get the game through Steam, and you can launch it through Steam. I think it was Blizzard. There were games that there was some sort of integration or something like that. Steam, anyways, lets you kind of do that if you, I think, select the game file or something like that. You can still launch it through Steam, but it will it will also launch it through whatever that third-party launcher is. But at least you'll have it in the library, in your Steam library, right there.
Right.
Yeah. This would be interesting. There's a lot that they can do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if they do the right thing, which is day one PlayStation releases, linking your PSN account, then you have less incentive to buy the system and just be in the ecosystem, and I feel like that would get more people in. So it's like it's a feedback loop.
It can also get more developers in. They can expand the launcher to being not just first-party title games, but also third-party title games, and they take a cut from other people.
That's possible too. Yeah.
We
have to see. We have to wait and see. Sony has to wait and see.
Now. This is all speculation. We still don't know if this launcher is a thing, right? Just because it was there in the codes, we don't really know why it was there in the code, but we'll have to wait and see if news breaks out about the launcher. We'll have to wait and see if news breaks out about PSVR 2.
That would be cool. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would be cool too.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, because they are solidifying their PC market bit by bit from several different fronts.
It makes it like the writings on the wall, the fact that they have the hardware, they're launching the hardware, they have the software, or they've been releasing software here and there. They just need the one thing.
They bought a company to do more of that.
Yeah, so it's. I feel like it's gonna happen, and if it doesn't happen, that would be more of a surprise, more than anything.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it.
It's been cool.
We kind of had everything. We said everything that we want to say about all of these. So I guess let's just end it right here. Thank you, everybody, for watching the episode. Do drop us a like or comment, or subscribe for more content like this, or just go to badgood.tg to find our audio podcast. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at badgoodpod. So give us a follow there, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye for now.